Well, good morning, everyone. What is today? Today is Friday, July 21st. I am just getting my charts up. I was having troubles with them this morning. I had to actually close everything out and restart it. And it told me my database was corrupted. So, um, yeah. So, what do we have going on? Well, we'd had a resistance area that held several times, which pushed everything to the downside. So we've gotten back below all zero lines and things to that nature. But we are already starting to create divergences and some pretty significant looking divergences to push this back up. We do have strength to the downside. So what happens sometimes is it pushes it back up just to where everything can kind of reach these areas and then go down. Now, does that mean I'm going to trade directly from the area? No. I'm going to watch and see what this says. I mean, we do get past this area. It's happened before. Look back here. It's almost the exact same look as it's pushed down and things didn't really close completely. Well, right now we're seeing the same kind of thing happening. There's not a whole lot of umph in that push down in these MACDs. So just going to see what's happening at this point. This was a nice strong pullback, lots of space to run back to the EMAs that aren't quite open with strength to the downside. They are in the 610, but we have to remember, or I have to remember from my personal preferences, that I am not trading the 610. That the 610 is simply here to help me have a quick and low risk entry. I have my mom in the other room watching some house owners, home rebuilders, something or another to that nature. So I have my yoga music playing in here to keep me even keel, or maybe so nobody dies. This divergence, we can see what's happened. Both the price and the MACDs have led a little bit lower at this area. So, we already had a little bit of divergence here. This may show broken divergence and a strong trending market to the downside. Who knows? It's kind of looking like it's starting to be in favor. I check that daily chart every day and just kind of see what possibilities we have to give a pretty decent pullback. So this is the daily chart, and you can see it's just been going up and up and up, and it keeps creating divergences to go back down. We've had a ton of strength to the upside in the MACDs, but we have reached what looks like an area that might be pushing things back down for a little bit. Is it going to go all the way back down to, um, 2422, 2423? Maybe. We shall see. What we have to do now is trade what it's telling us. So let's look at the next highest time frame that I look at after this. We can see back below the zero lines, happened here before. Still some strength up in the EMAs, but it has had a nice, well, we can see what's happened plenty of times. It kind of hung out at a resistance area, gave divergences, pushed back below everything, and then turned back around. And so here we are with almost the exact same, well, I say almost the exact same look. This is a little bit more of a powerhouse to the downside than we had here. Had a strong push down, a weaker retracement, and a strong push down. Here we had a decent push down, a very, very weak retracement. No, it was, we gained some strength, but just kind of trying to determine what kind of day this is going to be for me, or if I'm going to fight things and try and look for reversals, if I'm going to look for continue to push us in this direction, although it looks like right now that was the right thing to do, right? But just watching and waiting here. Love how like deceiving looks can be when you tell yourself, well, yes, everything's going to the downside, and it's, oh, look, it's pushing down, but it's still the same kind of MACDs in the push down. You had a little bit lower, which said potential for more down, but the MACDs aren't following through with it just yet, and it's just kind of hanging out here. Could it keep going down? Yeah. I mean, it keeps doing these pop, pull aways and popping back up. But you got to be kind of quick on the draw, or maybe be using a 233 tick chart to be a lot quicker on the draw than the 610. But I'm just kind of, I could see this having the possibility to pick up the strength and opening up here, but this isn't what I look at and see as strong. This is where I see strength. They've really, really pulled apart. It took a while to get there yesterday. You see it was just almost the same type of look to the upside. And now, oh, I'm sorry, that was the day before yesterday. So yesterday was basically just one big transition day. Where are we going? Oh, we're going back to the downside. And so, is today going to continue to the downside? Or are these dying out MACDs going to turn around and push up? I could see this as a nice little push back to the upside right in here. It's just this little 6 of one, half a dozen of the other with the way that I feel with what's going on here. Here we go, nice little push back down. Has reached a ceiling several times in the MACDs and haven't pushed through, but it's also reached a floor several times and has a push back through. It's really kind of been jumbled up here and not followed through with anything. So, this is just going to smash to the downside, or we're going to turn around. I'm still feeling this potential for a long trade if this turns to the upside, but that's me trying to trade the 610 instead of the higher time frames. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's me just trying to trade the 610, but I feel like we're in this area that could really just pop up now with the MACDs like this, or pop down with the EMAs opening up, with it pulling down here. One of the things that might be a little bit different than when it happened here is that higher time frame EMA. Before it was flattening out as this was rolling up, and you see it just kind of flattened out and went up. Now the EMAs are both beginning to point to the downside. That's not really a flatten out, that's starting to angle down. Could it flatten out? Yep. I feel like if I was to take a long trade, it would be just pushing it right now, and same with a short trade. All right. So here's is this just hanging out here for a little bit till it pulls down and really reaches this EMA, which is something that we see happen a lot of times. It happened here. It just hung out for a little bit, created divergences till it pulled down and reached that EMA, and then finally took off. So is it just going to hang out here and take off to the downside? Are we going to see this really get ready to push in the opposite direction? I like to hold for what I think is going to be the bigger move, so I'm usually pretty selective, and that's why you may see me be able to anticipate the direction, but still holding on for what I believe is the proper move. And still where I drew those arrows is valid right in here for the long. But to me, it has a short distance to go. Right here was the first stop. So, all right. Had I been into this trade, I would definitely be looking for an exit. Now, going up to the zero line, pulling up to the areas. It's really going to have to push down hard from here to convince me because of the way that this is rolled up. And now we've got to pop up here. I'm going to chase this one, but I was not paying attention for a moment. I was actually closing my eyes and doing a little bit of a meditation. Part of it was about not chasing and paying attention to what things are telling me. Everything is still pointing to the downside being below everything here. This will be interesting to see right in here. With the MACD's leading lower here, I kind of want to give it a try. The only thing I'm concerned with is right in here. Still going to the upside. The strength here. So I guess it's not the only thing I'm concerned with. So I do like the way this is looking with this right here, but this MACD has really got to push down. This right here is my concern. For each one of these, they just keep moving up. I need to pass on it because the 610 is totally set up properly for it. Is it the blue line that I'm concerned with? I do believe it is. I think it's this that was holding me up. Yeah, something I go through my head and say is, you know, make good decisions because it's the right decision to make. And this actually feels like the right decision to make right now. Oh, dang it. Well, I forgot that I had to reset things, and I don't have my two target. I do like how this is flattened out. It's a little miniature head and shoulders possibility right here. Alright, still continuing up. The stop is in the right spot. No reaction here. I may even give this a second chance. Oh, I feel like the second chance was right there. Turn right here, hard down. I think that's what we're about to see. Okay. Alright, let's see. This turnaround does its job right here. Let's see this push down hard. I'm gonna have to push down harder than that. The only one that's really concerning me, it's not slowing down, although everything else has started to. For it. So I put my first target at a point, and the next one is still at 2 points. I may move the second target as this goes. Second target, we'll go a tick or so higher. Pull these in tighter. Just gotta push through here. Be prepared to close. Above the zero line, it could definitely roll off here, but this is looking pretty decent strength. Okay. All right. Let it push down, and I'll move right at that spot. Give it just a couple more ticks. I'm liking the way this is pulled back. No reaction here. Taking my hands off. Whew, I was having to do some deep meditation during that. I mean, really, during this, I'm going, you know, no matter the outcome, I'll stay strong and vibrant and intuitive. And that was a tough one to hold through right now. It's still not pushing through the way I would like. Still have some strength down here. Just needs to give it a little bit more of a push. And I'll continue to take a little more risk off of it if it continues to push down. Which, I mean, it has a lot in its favor. The EMAs are opening up to the downside. These have pinched even closer. Another thing I might see happening is it pull back, touch me out, and go. Does have a good possibility to continue down, though. This still has 3,000 ticks. That's why I don't let this one run me too much. And some other things that I see to myself when, you know, I'm in situations like this is something that I learned through meditation. It's The fire within me burns through all blocks and fears. And these are just definitely fears as it's pulling back. There's still things saying, you're in the right direction. Continue with it. There we go. And going to move that to a break even there. So it has a pretty good potential for a push down. Let's just go ahead and pull this off a little bit while I've got time to think about it. 61% is there. I'm going to pull it down here. I'm going to be very aware of everything as it's going on. Very easily snap back here. Pulling back pretty hard right there. This gives me a reversal bar. I'm just going to go ahead and move my wrist down. Thinking to myself, I'm going to go ahead and take my exit, I believe. This reversal bar right here is causing me a little concern without this really turning over. So I think I'm going to go ahead. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to give it just a moment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move 2 ticks behind here. Have profit locked in no matter what. Yeah, that's looking pretty good for it. MACDs are showing some strength to push back down. We're coming into an area that could create a bounce in the MACDs. And this is taking its sweet time to turn over. So just a little bit of a pivot floor. But we've still got 1100 ticks here. I say pivot floor, what I mean is right here. According to this price bar and this MACD, it should still continue down a little further. So walking right in here, nice rollover. I'm going to lock in a few more ticks. It really shouldn't pull it past here, and if it does, then I don't want to be in it anyways. Because at this moment, this is kind of the last little bit before it either pushes down or comes back and stops me out. Either way, I'm in profit, and I'm done for the day after this one. Okay, and this is where it needs to push through. Not sure that if it's going to do it, but you know, I'm not in the business of predicting the future, more in the business of what's it telling me now and what might possibly happen in the future, which we have much more of a possibility of this pushing down with these EMAs spread wide open like this. What happened to the rest of my bar? I think the meditation music in the background has been helping me. I mean, I have a tendency to get a little ADD and start looking at Facebook or answering things while I'm trading. So this is kind of helping me to stay focused with things. Oh, yeah, well, there we go. So I'm done for the day. Let's see how we did. So 5 points. Got 3 from the first one and 2 from the second one, which, you know, watching this, it could have really continued pushing down. It had everything in favor of it. It was this right here that had me a little concerned, which had me tightening up my stop. Now, could it pull right back up to here and continue down? Don't forget, like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you are interested in learning a little bit about what I do, be sure and hit me up. You can contact me at motivated.trader.love@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can leave me a message here, anything you like. So, hope y'all have a wonderful weekend.